afternoon, Prahidelis, and welcome everyone. Thank you very much everyone. Thank you. Again, we're going to be strengthening or activating our motivation of the positive motivation or virtuous motivation, and which started with the joy and the appreciation, grateful or thankful or gratitude, and then vastness motivation of the bodhicitta, thinking of all living beings. May they remove from the suffering, cause of sufferings. May they always have the joy, happiness, cause of joy and happiness. And they remain equanimity all the time, or have great balance, understanding, openness status. Really wishing those thoughts, which is again summarized or clearly mentioned in the four boundless thought. Strongly and openly, kind of genuinely raise up from our heart, and we wish that really mean that to every living being. And then same time, also this universe inhabited all in a three Vajra status. Vajra form, Vajra sound, and the Vajra mind status. Those are the reality nature of the way this universe inhabitants are according to the teaching of the Buddha, Padma Samye or the great masters. So if we activate those intentional thought in our heart, and that is really the begin the practices, meditation or reflecting on the teachings. Those are always important at the very beginning, and is also according to teaching, and we can keep throughout the teaching, throughout the practices. At the end, also we could dedicate the merit with those intentions, and then we kind of completed that practice period. But when we are in the world, also occasionally remembering, thinking of those is really very important. We are touching to our home and sweet home, or we're touching back to our own base, which is so practical and beautiful. And with those intentions, now again I go back to the teaching, what we are continually going on by all teachings of the best what I'm teaching is the best upon the teaching by Dudjom Rinpoche. And we're talking about the three taking refuges to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Then I also explained yesterday the field of refuges, or in other words, field of merit. Field of merit in Tibet is called Dzogchen, Dzogchen. The refuge, taking refuge up to the field of merit. F-E-I-L-D, I believe, field of merit. So that means this, when we visualize, when we feel the presence of this refuge tree, commonly named as a refuge tree in English, that is really the focal point and focal spot to activating our merits. Merits are important in order to reach enlightenment, because that's the way it will also purify all the obscurations, hindrance of the enlightenment and our well-being of the realizations. So it is so important. So therefore, then, as in the teaching I mentioned yesterday, there's nothing much to say about that, but I just like to highlight that refuge tree or the field of that merit or the Dzogchen that encompasses three jewels and three roots. And the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and the three roots are the root of a blessing is the Guru, and root of a blessing is the Yadam or the deity. Root of fulfillment of the activity is Dakini, and the Dharma balance. So that what refuge tree has all of that. And if I highlighted that again, and Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And first we think about the Buddha. What is Buddha there? Who is the Buddha there? Guru Padma Sambhava is actually embodiment of all those three. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Guru, Deva, Dakinis. Guru Padma Sambhava is also known as sometimes named as one who embodies all the object refuges. So even one Guru Padma Sambhava, when we visualize meditating on that, that alone encompasses entirely all those fields of merits. Then beside that, again there is a representative of all those three jewels. Right on the right side of the Guru Padma Sambhava, I said yesterday, at tree that has 8 trunks. Five trunks. Center trunk, that is the Guru Padma Sambhava, and all the lineage master are lined up in the sky above Guru Padma Sambhava. That is center trunk. In the right side of the Guru Padma Sambhava, that has all the Buddha, right side trunk, that has all the Buddhas of 1,000 Buddha, so of these fortunate eons. That means past Buddha, present Buddha, and future Buddhas. So that is all Buddhas. So taking refuge in the Buddha, have all the Buddhas right there. And then, back side of the Guru Padma Sambhava, on the trunk again, back trunk. So that if we go from the center trunk is the Guru Padma Sambhava, and the right side of the Guru Padma Sambhava is all the Buddha on the trunk of that. Again, big, beautiful clover, lotus petals and all that. On there, all the Buddha is sitting. And the back trunk, or the back side of the trunk, beautiful lotus, again, beautiful sun and moon, all that. And there is then all the dharmas. And all the dharmas of Nayana teachings, all the 84,000 teachings, all the Dzogchen teachings, all are right there in the shimmering rainbow light with the sound of the vowels and consonants, all the sound of each of those teachings. Very live, very activating with light and the beams of light. And that is that. So that is Dharma. So I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma. So that is all Dharmas there. Dharma represents. And then on the left side of the trunk of the Guru Padma Sambhava, there are again beautiful lotus full and big Jagenda, and there's also beautiful throne of the sun, lotus and the moon dreskas. And there is all the Sangha members. Sangha members of the Mahayana and the Sangha members of the Theravadas. Sangha members of the Mahayana are led by the 8 Bodhisattvas, such as Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, Vajrapani, and then all the 8 others. Those I'm not going to list it, and all that you can find out. Those are Sai Nyingpo, Kondo Zampo, Dapa Namparasel, and Maitreya, the future Buddha. Maitreya is also one of the 8 Bodhisattvas. All that there. And plus more Bodhisattvas. All the massive heaps of all the great Bodhisattvas. And then all the Arhatas. And the Theravada Sangha, or the general Buddhist Sangha members. Such as led by the Shariputra, Mongolputra, Mahakashyapa, Anand, Nyevang Upalis, and so forth, all those like great Arhatas and female Arhatas, all those are right there. So that is really all the Sangha members. So that means we take refuge in the Buddha, we take refuge in the Dharma, we take refuge in all the Sangha members, representative of the symbol of that all in that field merit, field of merits, all there. So that is Buddha Dharma Sangha. Then Guru, Deva, Dakinis, three roots. Again, and Guru Padma Sambhava is again represented embodiment of all the gurus, as I said earlier, and you all know that. And then above Guru Padma Sambhava, on the sky, in the rainbow lights, now all the gurus of the three lineages in Nyingma schools, such as mind-to-mind transmission lineage, all the gurus of the mind-to-mind transmission lineages, gurus of all the symbolic transmission lineages, gurus of all the oral transmission lineages, and all assembly to tell, gurus of the all great gurus of the Indias, and all gurus of all Tibetans, all the gurus, master teachers of the Buddhisms, those are highlighted that, but all is right in there. So that is, I take refuge in the gurus. That is what really, all that represented. Then, Yadams, where the representative of Yadas, right in front of the Guru Padma Sambhava, again there is a beautiful throne. Throne, again a beautiful flower, beautiful sun and moon, also respectively of each of those deities sitting on their own thrones, lotus, sun and moon discs, and such as Vajraarmors, Hayangirvas, Yamitakas, or the Adherukas, and as well as peaceful Buddhas. All the Buddhas, peaceful Buddhas, are right there. And left side, again, right side of also all is all peaceful Buddhas. Left side of that deities, all the Dakinis, such as Vajra Varahis, Lion-faced Dakinis, and Vajra Yoginis, and as well as the Padma Samye or secret wisdom Dakinis, and so forth, all are decided right there. All this Queen of Blissfulness, on Khandro Yintings, and all those Dakinis are sitting right in there. And then in front row of the Yadams, all the Dharma Palas there, such as Ekachati, Rahula, Dorje Lapa, and Mahakalas, and all those Dharma Palas there, again respectively on their thrones in each of them, even though this is like one kind of trees and spot that where you lie, but it is all vastness. It's not crowded or it's magic. It just distinctively see clearly, openly that recite everyone, each of them in their own pure lands, their own pure land, their own retinues. So it's not something that conception level can we make that those things and it's treat that, but reality is just completely open. The universe is transformed as a multiple pure land of those each all Buddhas, enlightened beings. That we open the wondrous door of the enlightenment qualities, or the realizations. And that is the beauty of the Vajrayana teachings. We are opening that. We're not closed, shrinked, limited, this and that things. Vastness, purity of all the enlightened beings appeared right in front of our eyes to activate our realization, our potentials, bring up to that qualities as all that enlightenment. So that is really the what this refuge trees, commonly in the West translated refuge trees. In the Tibet it's called the Jamdu Tsoyin. Jamdu Tsoyin is filled of merit, filled of merits. And the merits are, again, of course, I will show those later or the next time, but two merits, accumulation merit, wisdom merits. Those are two merits. So through these, we can accumulate the merit, activate that energy and power and qualities, and they clear away the obscurations, negativities, habit patterns, so that we will become totally freedom as from the duality world of the grasping and clinging and chaotic things, with total freedom as the celestial bird known as Garuda, or like Buddha Shakyamuni, Padma Samye, all those enlightened beings. They are total freedoms. And they are real. When they are in your freedom, then you completely, everything in that purity status. We don't have to struggling with hopes and fears all the time. And kind of wandering on that two narrow corners, bouncing back and forth, clashing each other's always. But most of the time in the samsara, we get more fear than hopes. Hopes, that's really how we do. Because of our dualities, because of our obscurations, according to teachings of the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni. So that is really about the refuge trees. Once you talk refuges, then there is instructions. Instructions, what things we should do and what things we should avoid. And when you take refuges, then always remember Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Om Guru, Devan, Rakinis. That. And always try to do good, beneficial activities. Beneficial activities to one's own self, to others, directly, indirectly, with mindfulness. And remember, as I said yesterday, or day before yesterday, the cause of the taking refuge in the Mahayana principle is compassion. So it's not just only, I like to escape from the samsara, therefore I'm taking refuge. But in the Mahayana, the attitude is, I like to help into all these living beings, therefore I'm going to take the refuge. Therefore, I like to go under the blessings of the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, make myself strong so that I can benefit continually, unceasingly for all living beings. That is the primary wishes and primary determinations in the heart and mind of the practitioners of the Mahayana. So therefore, also when you take refuge or after you take refuge, always thinking of all the other beings, how I can help, how I can benefit it. I'm not going to hurt them and not going to kind of do negative activities because of my principles of as practitioners of the Mahayana or the Tolga refuges. Those are in the teaching say. So there is generally instructions of what things to do, what things to avoid. Those are all clearly mentioned in the words of my perfect teacher and other books that translated into English. So I won't go over those things. But again, we mindfully do the activity. Something is good for the others, good for one's own self, directly, indirectly. That is what we have to do. With a good heart, with a compassion. Good heart means compassion. Deep down is a compassion. And that compassion is really the seed of the Buddha. That is the energy of the Buddha Shakyamuni and Guru Padma Samye, or that is the energy of the enlightenment. Enlightened beings. And so, with that intention, trying to do the activity with the assistance of one's own most important friend, the mindfulness. Mindfulness is our friend. Each of us, if we activate our mindfulness, that is really the best friend. So, get support from our mindfulness, always reminding ourselves, do the good things as much as we can do. And when you can do, when you did that, or when you're doing, when you did, you should feel happy. You should rejoice. You should acknowledge your own self. I did good. Feel happy. This is not arrogance. This is not kind of pride, arrogance, but you should happy and joy. Inspire ourselves. It's so important. Of course, people kind of say, oh, that person inspired, which is good. Somebody inspired you, that is good. But to inspire one's own self is the most powerful. Inspire ourselves. Acknowledge that I did good. And then at the same time, set forward the plan the determination, I will do even better next time. By the blessings of the 3 jewels and the 3 roots, on Padma Samye Ling. Really wish and pray that I will do better. That's why how we always elevating ourselves and advancing the path. That is. At the same time, if something negative activities that happen, that directly hurting to others or my own self, or also indirectly trying to avoid it. Immediately that is detected by the mindfulnesses. And don't go that far, trying to not go far. Moment we detect it, we try to really then stop. And so we kind of think, oh, I did something kind of funny things that against it with my principle of refuges. So I'm not going to do. By blessings of the Buddha, Guru Padma Samye, all the enlightenments, may I can turn easily from those habit patterns, unwholesome, any kind of activities. Thinking of that, and again reset the commitment, courage. If we do those are known as practicing the Dharma, practices. And again, we all know that, we remember that. It's a very popular saying in this country. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. That's how we're doing practices. Reminder to my own self. If it is reminding my own self is the best reminder. If somebody else reminded to us that, most of the time is very annoying. It's very sensitive. We don't feel really comfortable. And maybe it will react. We react why he or she is always doing something, always fussing me, always kind of making all these comments. What's it is? We will react. It's just, it won't absorb, even it's really true. When you accept, one don't accept when you react, even it's true, then it just goes on the complete opposite direction. Reminding by ourselves, one's own self, is beautiful, it's more effective, more powerful. That's really what all these great masters, practitioners really did. So that is really what I just thought to talk about the general reference. And instruction, there's again, in the world's my perfect teaching and some other those great books which translated, there's more instructions. Then, so you can see and look those things, read that more of that. And then basically what I said, that is the summarized essence of that. Then I thought I'd like to talk about a little bit about the retreat. Big time we're doing retreat. Our retreat is a situation, circumstances that completely kind of like put us on this retreat that you all know, we all. And for Buddhism, retreat is very popular. That is the highway of all those ancient masters. And also now, it's not just once upon the time it happened, retreat, and that's the kind of merely stories. It's very active, it's live, totally live. Retreat is very, very popular. Why? Because we like to change our understanding of these samsaras. We like to really make the meaning of our this very precious life. This life. This precious life and this life, how long we will be here? That's what they always in the Buddhism highlight that, which is true. We are not going to be here for eons. We are here for short time. Short time. In that short time period, maybe we already spent half of that, or maybe even more than half. Our life is finished. There is only how much left. So now, in that short period of time, whatever my life is, I really like to make some changes. My understanding of this world, and then make something progress. Where? Like to progress. Not the external material world, but I like to something like progress to within my mental state, mind. I like to develop something, mind status. According to Buddhism, mind will go up with us from place to places. That means from life to life. All the material things, whatever we have, we will leave behind. But mind is only will come with us when we leave. According to Buddhism, as you all know, we believe rebirth. We believe reincarnations. And now we are incarnated of our previous lives. Now we are here. And we will be continuing like that for a long time. So when we reincarnated, what really we go is our mind. Or in other words, consciousness. According to the teaching, whatever we developed with mind, that will come with us. Come us. Whether it is good, whether it is bad, that will follow. Good is known as in Buddhism, good karma, and bad is named as bad karma. But it will come. It will come as a shadow, according to teaching. So therefore, I like to change the direction and like to have more kind of good karma. That means more positive energy, more positive things in my mind. Therefore, I will do the retreat. So retreat is the solely dedicated to progress our inner qualities, inner quality of mind. Improve the mind. What means improve mind? When we do the retreat, according to Buddhism, it will bring more joy, more appreciations, more grateful, more loving kindness, more compassion, more openness mind, more freedom mind. And then when that happened, our inner the capabilities, our inner potentials, our inner creativities and beautiful creativities, all that flows, calm, beautiful. So that's one reason they do retreat. That's the principle. What means retreat? Retreat, it sounds, of course, English word, but in Tibetan, Tsam. So it's translated as retreat, I believe. And retreat, according to the Tibetan word meaning, Tsam means I'm retreating from all the busy activities. Busy activities of the mundane world. What that is, what those are. It's called mundane busy activities of the physical, mundane busy activities of the verbal or the speech, and mundane busy activities of the mental. So that I like to be kind of retreated from all those activities. And for that reason, what in the teaching you see? Outer retreat, inner retreat, secret retreats. In that three kind of divisions, present time, what we are having, our situation, circumstances allowing us, the outer retreats. Outer retreats. Outer retreat is all the physical busy activities, all the social activities that really is kind of like that it allowed us to do retreat. So now we kind of like retreated from social activities, all the physical that kind of regular, usually we do, those retreats that we are doing retreat, which is wonderful and very beautiful. Now, when we have that, then what they do in ancient time in Buddhism, the retreat is, as I said, so popular in Buddhism. And Buddha Shakyamuni did a retreat too. Even though don't call it exactly, they don't use the name or the terminology retreat, but 6 years in the Nalanda Bay of Narendra River, Buddha did retreat. 6 years. And the offering is called ascetic retreat. Ascetic retreats. For 6 years he did retreat. And Guru Padma Samye did a retreat, even though he is enlightened being, totally as an emanation of the Buddha Shakyamuni, or reincarnation of Buddha Shakyamuni, and the emanation of the Amitabha, he did a retreat. In all the cemeteries in the teachings, he did a retreat. All those places. So retreat is, as I said, is big highway of all these great masters. We're talking about all the great masters. List the names of all those masters. Everyone did a retreat. Everyone retreat. I don't see anyone there did not do a retreat. Really, hardly anyone did. Maybe King Indrabhuti didn't do retreat. And that according to teaching, he is so highly capability practitioners, highly capability students. Moment he received the teaching, and then he just enjoyed the king's environment and luxury status, and he reached enlightenment in the teaching. Said that. But still he did something, because he changed the situation or the perspectives of the king's luxury qualities. Even though he did not give up things, but he did, and he reached enlightenment within that life. But almost otherwise, everyone really did retreat. Longchenpa did retreat. Malarepa did retreat. Great Master Mahon Rinpoche did retreat. Jamkung Kunto did retreat. And Person Chete did retreat. All those great Tetums of the did retreat. All those masters of the Kama did retreat. Garab Dorje did retreat. Shri Sangha did retreat. Menju Shri Madhara did retreat. And then Bamal Madhara did retreat. Vero Jana did retreat. So we do a retreat, which is wonderful. now in this situation. So therefore, this time we have, I'm not just joking, it's really true. Everyone did. Nagarjuna did a retreat. Arya Deva did a retreat. And then Asanga did retreat. All those Indian great masters, everyone did retreat. I really did it. Because when do you retreat? What it does? It will allow the situation and circumstance so that we can improve our inner value, all the potentials of our Buddha nature. That is what really reason they're doing retreats. And when you do retreat, and there is three retreats called then regular retreat, or the regular, and one is called smooth retreat. Tsanghopo, or the smooth and soft retreat, or tight retreats. And many of those great masters did tight retreats. And there I will talk the story of this is tight. Those masters did retreat. Those great masters did retreat. how they retreat situations. They're sitting up in the caves most time. When you say, oh, those masters did retreat in a cave on the beautiful mountain and watch the view, fresh air, beautiful panoramic views, and then also pristine, and the mountains and the glacier and all that. It's true. It's really beautiful. But reality, we have to stay there with that situation. In the glacier mountain, on the retreat in the caves. I don't know how we will do. I don't know. You ask. I don't know. In the cave, you must think there is no running waters. There is no running hot waters. Don't mention hot waters. And also there is no the fires that you can turn the button and get fire. Fire. So then, and there is no air houses. So what do? If you don't have, still you have to eat. Still you have to cook something. Still you have to heat up, or at least boil your water, tea. So what they do, and they have to have water, to have firewood. And to get water, some case, even the cave, there's not every cave has a running water nearby. Maybe 1 mile, 2 miles have to go get water. Water is true. It's really true stories. And there is no firewood that you can get immediately somewhere. You have to go and collect it. Firewoods. And up in the Galatia mountain neighbor, there's not really actual wood you can get. Maybe shrubs of the bushes, dry bushes, if you're lucky you can find. Otherwise, you have to get something kind of like that can make the fire. Many times, those are used domes, different domes used. So that means water have to be saved. Get the waters far away and make the fire. And then you can imagine there is no heating systems in the cave, or there is no cooling systems in the caves. So that's really they're doing it, but still they're doing retreat. They're happy. They're so excited. They feel so freedoms. And they make that when they do retreat, how many periods? They make whole day periods, divided at least 4 periods. Early morning, late morning, afternoon, and evening, and maybe late evening. What the great teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni said in the teaching, said, in the early morning and late evening should practice. Until that means the whole day. In early morning, start early morning until late evening. You know, there's so many retreat manuals or the instructions translated, that you can look. So that's really. So between that, they have to collect the water, they collect all those firewood, necessary things, and make that food or whatever they have. They can make those things simple. And then practices and meditate. And what the practices most time is meditation and chanting the prayers. So now, again, I go back just one more time. When we are retreat means, I said, avoiding all the mundane, busy activities of the physical, verbally, and mentally. And what that means, when we avoid that, what do we have to do now? And avoiding all the mundane physical activities, the world activity, do the physical good activity, such as in the teaching said, prostrations, circumambulating to the stupas, or the temples. Something that reflects your joy in the devotion activities and brings calm and peaceful in mind. When you avoid the mundane physical, what called the verbal activities, when you can't avoid, when you retreat from that, what do? Reciting the mantras, reciting the prayers, reciting the sutras, or trying to read the sutras. Sutras, again, that reflects our joy in the devotions. Is more inspire ourselves. And compassion, loving kindness. Read the life stories of all those great masters. Read sutras, or read the way in the lives of the activity of the bodhisattvas. Those are beautiful. Just really touch to the heart when you read those teachings. So read those things. And then avoiding the mundane activity of the mental, such as what? All the negative emotions and discursive thoughts, unnecessarily these and that things. Bring more love, compassion, joy, relaxing mind, and a natural status, or the Dzogchen status, or Mahamudra status. Relax. And what it will do? It will bring the true inner natures of the mind's qualities. Peace, harmonies, those are the warmth of the brain realization. Then the sun of a realization will shine, which is wisdom and love and compassion, all united together as one beautiful status. So those are really teachings said that. And so that is my brief talk for today, and I thank you very much again for listening to me, and thank you everyone again, and we do now short meditation. Okay? Thank you.